going to be doing a fierce flow today, doing some cardio shred HIIT type yoga as well as a few more traditional vinyasa flows. We will start in a seated position, hands on your knees, grounding those sit bones, beginning to breathe, doing some very deep belly breathing here. So really filling that belly, filling almost into that back, deep fire breaths. And fully exhale. Filling those lungs, filling that belly with air, using that core to exhale all that air. Clearing your mind, any struggles, frustrations, bringing yourself to right here, right now, this practice, this hour for your body and your mind. If you'd like to add a little bit of movement in here, feel free. Opening that chest on that inhale. And on your next inhale, raising your arms to the sky. And exhale, turning to that right side. Placing that left hand on the knee, that right hand behind you on the mat. Opening that chest. Keeping those hips square and forward, seat bones grounded. Turning from the mid-back up. With each exhale, turning a little deeper if you can. Starting to bring that head back behind that shoulder. Keeping that deep belly breath. And on your next exhale, slowly unwinding, coming back to center. One more big breath with those arms to the sky. And on this exhale, turning to that left side, placing that right hand on your knee, left hand on the mat. Turning from that mid-spine up. With each exhale, gradually twisting a little deeper. Bringing that head back over that left shoulder. Keeping that spine nice and tall, opening those shoulders up to that left side. And on your next exhale, unwinding back to center. With a big inhale, coming to that tabletop position. Moving through cat and cow. So inhaling, lifting the chest, dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, curling the tailbone, rolling, curling the spine, bringing the belly button back, arching the back. And again, making sure to keep your wrists directly under your shoulders, knees hip width apart, directly under those hips. For a bit of an added challenge, you can bring your knees up off the ground. Keeping that 90-degree bend. back to the mat, flipping those toes back under, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, pressing the hands out, really distributing that weight evenly. Centering yourself on that left hand, we'll take that right hand straight out. And with a big exhale, we'll thread it through. Palm faces up, shoulder stays off the mat. This time coming all the way up, opening that chest. Exhale, coming back through. Inhale, opening that chest, reaching those fingertips a little higher. Exhale, back through. And we'll pick the pace up on this just a little. Opening that chest, squeezing that core as you reach through. Really strong breath here. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center. Taking that left hand now, reaching straight out. Inhale with your exhale, threading it through, palm stays up, opening that chest. And coming high with those fingertips. Exhale, threading through. Really opening that chest to the left side, lifting that chin to the sky. We'll pick up the pace here. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to that tabletop position. From here, we're going to press back into that downward dog. Feeling lots of movement here, moving those hips, pedaling those knees. Pressing through those shoulders, bending those knees if you need to. And put your heels down if it's in your practice, or you can stay on your toes if it's more comfortable. Just really allowing yourself to be free here, relaxing that mat. And on your next exhale, roll forward to that high plank. Keeping those wrists directly below those shoulders. And from here, we'll do that chaturanga, so that tricep push-up, keeping those arms on the sides, but we'll come all the way down to the belly. Flipping those feet over, pressing those feet into the top of the mat, pressing yourself back to that cobra on inhale, and exhale, releasing to the mat. And again. Squeezing those thighs, pressing them into the top of the mat. Squeezing those glutes to protect that low back. We'll take 2 more of these. Taking 1 more big belly breath, feeling that belly press into the floor as you breathe. And pressing yourself, tucking those toes, going back to downward dog. Bending those knees on that next inhale, step, jump, or float to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swooping your arms high to that tall mountain pose. Pressing the palms together, exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Inhale, swooping the arms 1 more time. And from here, we're going to move into one of those cardio shred positions. So we are going to turn sideways on our mat and take temple pose, which is feet slightly turned out forward, hips wider than feet wider than hip distance. sinking down into that squat. Make sure you keep your back straight, not letting those knees track out over those toes. From here, we're going to add that movement, that shred movement. So we're going to go up to one leg. Here, with your breath, 1. And if you want extra, you can add that side kick in. Pick up the pace a little here for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll come back to a counter stretch, so crossing that right foot over, left hand on the hip, and stretching, keeping those hips forward, reaching long with the right fingertips. And we'll come back to that temple pose, and we'll take that right leg one more time. So, 1, 2, coming back to that stretch. All of these movements with purpose. We're not just kicking our leg. We're staying really grounded, keeping that core in tight, those hips back, not letting our knees track out over our toes. And as we come up, balancing into this left thigh, with control, bringing that knee up, kicking it out, and bringing it back down. We're not just out here. We're and back. Now, if you don't like the kick, you can just come up here. For 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Taking that cross body stretch again. And one last time through this. Coming back to that temple pose, getting set. And when you're ready, one, 2, 3, and last one. 4. Coming back to that cross-body stretch. And we'll move to that left side now. So, resetting those feet wide, sinking back. This time, taking that left leg up. Keeping that core in tight. Deep breaths, don't forget to breathe, but we're getting that heart rate up. Last one here. And this time taking that left foot across, leaning to that right side for that counter stretch. Lengthen this whole side of your body all the way up to those fingertips. And coming back to that wide temple stance. Moving into the kick. With control. Working those thighs, those glutes, that abs and core. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Taking that counter stretch again. And coming back for 3 of 4. Feeling that heart rate rising. We're not trying to kick any higher than straight off to the side. Remember, if you don't like that kick, you can just come up to that balance with that leg out. For 4, 3, 2, 1. taking that counter stretch again. Keeping those hips forward, pushing out to the side, lengthening, catching your breath for just a minute. And we'll do this last set. For 3, 2, 1. Coming back one last time to that counter stretch. And stepping forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, this time diving all the way forward to that forward fold. Inhale to that half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Placing your hands on the mat. From here, we're going to do this yoga burpee. So, hands firmly grounded in the mat, slight bend in the knees. We'll step or jump back. So if you don't want to take that jump, you can step back. But we're going to keep those. Come back to that tabletop with the knees off the ground position. Then we will step or jump back to the front of the mat again, rising into that chair pose for a few breaths. And coming back down. Now you can take this as fast or slow as you'd like. You can step out, step in, rise to chair. Or if you'd like to speed it up, using that core, those legs, making sure when you hit that chair that your feet are even, you're not letting those knees track out or in, keeping them square, using that belly to really breathe and hold everything in. If you're getting tired, you can just stay in that chair, or you can come back to that down dog. Take a breath. We'll do 4 more of these. I lost count. 1 more. Beautiful. Coming back to that forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. This time we're going to take that same sequence, but we're going to add a crossbody mountain climber. So on our step or jump back, then we're going to bring that right knee to the left elbow, left knee to the right elbow. Step or jump forward, come to that chair, and back down. Big inhale. Nice strong breath on those mountain climbers. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Whew. And releasing to that forward fold. If you'd like to take a ragdoll here, slowing that heart rate down, loosening everything back up. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, coming tall. Exhale, pressing the hands together to the heart. From here, we're going to take a wide stance with our toes facing forward, reaching back and clasping those 10 fingers behind the back, keeping just a slight bend in your knees. And we're going to take these ninja lunges. So we're going to lean to the right, starting to lead with the chest, coming back, leaning to the left. Never letting that toe go outside, or excuse me, that knee go outside that toe. Starting to bring that chest deeper with each lunge. If you need to use a towel here, or a strap, because you can't make that clasp, that's totally fine. You can do something like this with that towel or strap here. Or just taking that clasp. Coming back to center, coming all the way forward, keeping that back flat. Letting that chin relax, keeping a slight bend in those knees to protect the joints. If you need a little bit more, you can bring those hands forward. And exhale, releasing those hands to the floor. From here, you can just stay in this pose. If you'd like to work your way to either side, or if you'd like to take a headstand here, you can take a balance move and go to headstand. Grasp your ankles, just fully relaxing, feeling that deep stretch. Wherever feels comfortable for you. Maybe swaying those hips back and forth. You took that headstand, working your way back. Standing back to center. Placing those hands on those hips, keeping that back straight. Swan diving all the way up. Inhaling, bringing those hands high. Exhaling, bringing them to your heart. Heel toe your way back in. From here, we'll step back to the center of our mat. Inhale, guiding all the way down to that forward fold. Placing the hands on the mat, stepping or jumping back to that down dog. Taking a few minutes here to loosen, release, come back to your breath, let your heart rate slow down. And on that next exhale, waving your body out to that plank. Taking that chaturanga push-up, but going all the way to your belly. Keeping those arms tight. Flipping those feet over, pressing the tops of your feet into the mat, lifting into that cobra. On your exhale, releasing back to the ground. You're probably a lot warmer now. Maybe get a little deeper into that back bend. Squeeze those glutes and those thighs to protect that low back. And one more. Taking just a moment here before we press back into downward dog. tucking those toes, lifting up. From here, we'll center ourselves on that left foot, lifting that right foot high to the sky, keeping those toes down, hips square. Try not to let yourself open up here yet. Taking a big inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, stepping all the way through to that high lunge, keeping that back knee bent, coming up into that crescent lunge. And let's pulse here. Bottom half, really keeping your core in tight, not letting that knee track inward, trying to keep that knee straight, not letting this knee go out over top of those toes, keeping that back leg bent, arms to the sky. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's exhale and open to that warrior 2. Turning that left foot to that 45-degree angle, toes facing the long edge of your mat. Keeping that front knee straight in line, never letting that knee go over those toes. Arms straight out in front of you, palms down. And on your exhale, leaning forward as far as you can, stretching those fingertips. And then coming back, sinking just a little deeper into that lunge each time. Using that core to move forward and backward. Keeping your gaze on that front fingers. And on this next one, coming back into that reverse warrior. Arm to the sky. You can use that left hand to balance a little if you need on that calf or that thigh. Big inhale and exhale, releasing to that side angle. You can balance that arm on the thigh. A little bit more, you can bring it down to the ankle or even the floor. Reaching that top arm straight up. If you'd like to take that bind, turning the palm out. If you'd like to take the full bind, bringing that right arm under. Keeping that chest open to the wall, raising the gaze. Took that bind, coming back slowly. And inhale, coming back to that reverse warrior. And exhale, cartwheeling your hands down to that high lunge, stepping or jumping back to that downward facing dog for just a moment here. We'll take that same sequence with that left leg, so centering yourself on that right foot, pressing that left leg up to the sky. Keeping those hips square. Relaxing that neck. Pressing out through those hands. Squeezing the shoulder blades. Lifting the tailbone high. Inhale, and on your exhale, stepping all the way through to the high lunge. Bringing yourself up to that crescent lunge. And we'll pulse here. It's just a slow, low movement, halfway down, staying in it. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Opening up to that warrior 2, so turning that right foot, to the side. Arms out. Never letting that knee track over those toes. Taking that inhale, leaning forward. Taking this as fast or slow as you like. If you really want to work that core, do a little shorter movement. If you want to stay with that breath, going a little deeper. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to that reverse warrior. bringing that gaze up to that top hand high. And on your next exhale, coming forward to that side angle. If you took that bind on the other side and want to take it on this side, make sure you keep that chest open, bring that chin and gaze up. Take that bind, slowly unwinding. Deep inhale and exhale, coming back to that reverse warrior. Inhale and exhale, cartwheeling your hands back to the floor and stepping back to that belly. From here, we're going to take another one of our cardio sequences, doing some glute, core, and thigh work. We are going to start in a tabletop position. So you can come to tabletop. Again, we want to make sure we have a nice straight back, neutral spine, keeping those wrists directly under those elbows, under those shoulders, fingertips wide, pressing into the ground to balance that weight out. From here, we're going to take that right leg and we're going to come up to a 90-degree angle, pressing the heel to the sky, keeping that foot flexed. Then we're going to come in and back up. This time we're going to turn out and come to the elbow and back in. So in, up, elbow, up. Exhaling when you bring that foot in, inhaling on the up, exhaling as you bring it back in. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, 8. Excellent. Bringing it back to that tabletop. We'll take that left side. So coming up and in, up, turning out to the side, coming to that elbow. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Awesome. Taking a minute to breathe here. We'll go back to that right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last one. And to that left side again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one. Wonderful. I'm going to go through that one more time on each side. So, inhale, lifting that foot up. Exhale, bringing it to the belly. Inhale, exhale, bringing it to the elbow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. And last time on that left side, remember, inhale, exhale, bringing it as high as you can. Inhale, exhale, bringing it up. So we are speeding our breathing up here a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, awesome job, guys. Awesome. Take a moment to breathe here if you'd like to press back into that child's posing mode. Coming back to that tabletop, pressing into that downward dog, we're going to take a very similar motion, except we're going to do that jumping three-legged dog. So centering yourself on that left foot, bringing that right foot high to the sky, keeping those hips square, bending that left knee and jumping up. 1, 2, really kicking that top leg up as you're coming, but keeping those hips square. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now if that's too much for you, you don't have to bring that bottom foot off the floor. You can just do the rising and lowering, bending into that, coming up high. Otherwise, taking that jump. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming back to that downward dog, stretching those shoulders out. If you need to release those arms for a moment, you can. Coming back to that down dog, we'll go back to that right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switching legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great job. One more time through. Probably feeling this in those shoulders, as well as that core and those thighs. Coming up on your nice inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switching sides. 1, getting that heart rate up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome job. Awesome job. Take it back to that child's pose to catch your breath for a minute. You can either keep those knees wide if you prefer and come down between, or you can keep those knees together, pressing that belly onto the tops of those thighs. Reaching out or keeping your arms at your sides or back, wherever you're comfortable, bringing that forehead to the mat. Pressing those hips back to the heels. Next, we're going to move into a pigeon pose. So we're going to press ourselves back into that downward dog, to that three-legged dog, lifting that right heel to the sky. This time allowing those hips to open. If you want to take that little bend, you can open that up even further. Really loosening that hip. And on your exhale, bringing that knee all the way in between those hands, pressing that back foot out. Now there's a couple modifications here. If you're not comfortable coming all the way to that seated, pressing that left thigh into the top of the mat, you can keep that toe tucked under, and you can keep that front knee tucked under, and you can come a little bit higher here. Otherwise, slowly heel toe that knee out, pressing the top of that left thigh, top of that left foot, keeping it straight back. Almost like a half split. You can bring your hands to wherever they're comfortable to help support you, but you want to keep that nice tall spine. If you'd like to deepen this stretch, you can lean yourself forward. You can even bring your arms out, resting that head on the mat. If it's in your practice and you'd like to take the more advanced move, you can go to King Pigeon or Mermaid. Taking it with a bind if you like. If you took that bind, slowly releasing back. If you're leaning forward, coming back to that seated position, pressing your hands on the mat and slowly lifting and floating that leg back. And taking that left leg up, opening those hips. And on your exhale, bringing that left leg all the way through to seated. Again here, if you need to keep that toe tucked and stay a little higher, or if you can flip that toe, heel toe that left foot out just a little. Take that deeper stretch if you'd like. Or if you'd like to take that king or that mermaid. And if you bound or are laying forward, slowly bringing yourself back to center. Pressing those hands in the floor, floating that leg back to downward dog. From here, rolling yourself out to that plank. We'll take that Chaturanga push-up again, but coming all the way down to that belly savasana. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. We're going to reach our arms back, palms up. And on our inhale, lifting that chest and lifting those arms. Taking a few breaths here. Each exhale, coming forward slightly. Each inhale, lifting that chest a little higher. Still really breathing into your belly. You should feel that belly press against the mat as you take that deep breath. And on your next exhale, releasing to the mat. Adjusting if you need to. Keeping those thighs tight to the mat. This time when we come up, we're also going to lift those legs up and those arms. With each inhale, lifting just a little higher, squeezing those glutes and thighs and core to protect that lower back. Bringing that chin and chest forward. And on your next exhale, releasing to the mat. And finally taking bow pose. So bending those knees up, reaching back, grabbing the top of that foot or that ankle. And on your inhale, lifting, keeping the belly grounded. Move to your ankles. As you breathe here, adding a little bit of rocking motion, really massaging that belly. If that's too deep for you, you can stay low, bringing it lower. And with control, releasing to the ground, releasing those ankles. Placing that left ear or right ear on the mat. that belly savasana for a few breaths. And when you're ready, bringing those hands to the mat, and reverse that bend into a little child's pose here. Relax that back out. And when you're ready, coming up to all fours and around to a seated position. We'll do just a little bit of ab work here with the boat pose. So placing your hands at your hips, slight bend in those elbows, one leg at a time or both. You can keep those knees bent here for more of a challenge. Straighten them out. You can bring your arms forward, arms to the sky. If you'd like to add a little movement here. If you're shaking, it's working. Squeezing that core. If that's too much for you, you can bring your heels to the ground. But still really engaging that core, pressing those thighs together. Opening that heart up. You've got it, just a few more seconds. And coming back to the ground. Scooting forward just a little bit. We'll roll down. Bringing that right knee to your chest. Clasping your hands. Pulling it tight. For a little bit deeper, you can move it outward to that armpit. Pulling it deeper to the chest. Really hugging that leg. Releasing that one back to the mat, bringing that left knee up, clasping those hands, hugging that knee to your chest, moving it over towards that armpit at a little bit of an angle to get a little deeper. And this time bringing both knees to the chest. Clasping elbows, squeezing those knees to the chest, stretching out that low back. And add a little bit of movement here if you'd like to rock. Bringing those arms out, palms up, dropping those knees to that right hand side. Knees back to center, dropping them to the left. Any other positions that you need right now, feel free to take those. Otherwise, we'll take our Savasana wherever you're comfortable, and you could be straight out on the mat. If you want to press the soles of those feet together and take that butterfly. Palms to the sky. Total relaxation. Slowing that heart rate back down, being completely still, coming back to your breath. take your Savasana as long as you like, but if you're ready, rolling over to your side, pressing up to seated. Thank you for taking this time for yourself and this time with me today. Namaste.